Hello everyone, welcome to Voxel. So in this video we're going to discuss one of the most common part 1 topics out there in speaking, IELTS speaking, basically that's work or study. So without further ado, let me start. So, first question you may be asked is, are you currently working or studying? Or you can be asked this particular question in many different forms, like do you work or study? Are you working or are you a student? Something like that. But you get the basic idea what kind of question is it is. Okay, second thing, you should always try to be honest. All right, so if you are working, say I'm working as something or someone at some post, like I'm working as a manager, I'm working as an engineer, something like that, whatever your profession is. Or if you are a student, you can say I am studying. And let's just say if you are doing nothing, so you can say, well, neither I am a student nor working, not okay, something like that. But whatever it is, you should be like very honest with you, because or with the teacher in rather, because when like in the follow-up questions you may be asked something related to your work or to your study, and it should not be like that you are trying to say something in the beginning and after two or three questions you change your entire perspective. Like for example, let's just say you said I am working, something like that, as an ABC post, okay, as an ABC person in the particular company. But let's just say, like in the third or fourth question of this particular topic, you are saying, well, I'm doing nothing nowadays, or I'm a student. No, it should not be like that. All right. So let's see some of the samples. So we'll start with the directly answering the question. Well, I'm actually juggling both at the moment. So juggling both just means we are doing them together. So it's like if you have seen a juggler, or like juggler is a person who juggles things like in his or her hands, two or more things. Like if you see, if you might have seen a person juggling two or three balls or other things simultaneously. So I'm juggling both. During the day, I work as a marketing assistant, but in the evenings, I attend an online course in digital marketing. So, what we are trying to tell them, and now we are explaining what I am doing. So, during the day, I am doing my job, but in the evenings, I attend classes. Although it's quite demanding, I find it really rewarding because I can apply what I learn directly to my job. So, I am telling the teacher, yes, it's difficult. Like managing both things at one time is always obviously not a piece of cake. So we are trying to tell them it is demanding, but I find it rewarding. Basically, I find it worthwhile because whatever I learn, I can directly apply in my job. All right, to my job. So this is like you can say sufficient length for your part 1 answer. You do not need to expand more than that for your part 1. So two or three sentences will do for your part 1 answers. So let's see other question. What do you enjoy most about your job or studies? So I have like asked both job or studies, but the examiner, whatever you pick, like if you pick job, they will be asking you about your job. If you pick study, they will be asking about your study. So you will not be asked about both, but as I'm just giving you some sample answers, so I'm telling you about both. So we will discuss accordingly. Honestly, the best part is the sense of accomplishment I get after completing a project. So this is, I'm telling the examiner directly what I enjoy most. So if you're a student, you can say honestly, the best part is of whenever I get good grades or whenever my hard work pays off. Okay, I pass with flying colors. So whatever you want to do, whatever is the most enjoyable part of your studies, you can say that. But and if something else is most enjoyable part of your job, like honestly the best part is the teamwork, or the best part is salary of my job. Obviously for some, salary might be the best part of their job. Okay, or the best part is the knowledge I gain. So whatever the thing you enjoy most about your job or your study should be your answer. Do not think that the answers I am giving you are the only correct answers. So in speaking, there are no correct or incorrect answers, just relevant or irrelevant answers. So whatever the best part for you is, that should be your answer. You should not concern yourself with the answers of others. Like he or she is saying the best part about his or her job is ABC, but I don't enjoy these kinds of things, I enjoy this. So whatever you enjoy in your job or in your studies, you that should be your answer. So now we will explain a bit further. Whether it's finishing a big campaign at work or acing an assignment in my course, I feel like I'm constantly growing. So remember what I told in my first question. I'm juggling both at the moment. So now I'm trying to tell them both, like whether I'm at work finishing a big campaign, or if I'm talking about my studies or acing an assignment in my course. So I feel like I am constantly growing. So it feels like I'm growing, like both, like for my personality wise and like and knowledge wise. So I am growing in both aspects. Plus, I love the people I work with. They make every day enjoyable. So the thing is, I like about my job is, I love about whatever I do is, I love the people I work with. Basically, my colleagues. They make every day enjoyable. So they help me to relax, to complete my work on time. Whatever they do, I do that. You can make this your like primary idea as well. Like if you enjoy most is like company of your colleagues or your working environment or your working culture of your place, so you can say, so the best part about my work is the working environment or the working culture, everybody helps each other, something like that. So whatever the answer is true for you, you should stick with that. All right, I'm just giving you some samples, whatever you feel like you like. If this is what you enjoy most, you can say this. But remember, do not cram any answers. Teachers are trained to identify if student has crammed the answers in part 1 or not. So you should not cram anything. You should give answers honestly and naturally. So moving forward. Question: how long have you been in your current position or course slash course? So if you are working, they will be asking about your position. If you are studying, they will be asking about your course. So what we're going to do is we're going to directly answer it. I have been in my current role for just over 2 years now. So I'm trying to tell them how much time I have spent in my current position or my course. Time flies when you are having fun. So I'm now telling them how I feel about it. I started this course last semester, so it's still relatively new, but I am already seeing how much it's helping me improve my skills. So as far as my work goes, I have been doing it for over 2 years. But if I talk about my studies, because I told them I am doing some online course, so I started this course last semester. All right, and I'm telling them what's is it helping me or not. So next question: did you always want to pursue this career or field of study? So whatever, again, whatever your preferences, like work or studies, whatever your answer was, this will question will be asked accordingly. So we'll see the answer now. Not exactly. So if this was your childhood dream, like since childhood you wanted to become this particular person, that you are doing this particular wanted to work in this particular position or in this particular company, or what wanted to pursue this particular degree, whatever you are doing, so you will say yes. But if for some reason or the other you have to deviate from your childhood dream, or you changed your plan as you grew up because you became wiser, you came to know about your strengths and weaknesses, you can say not exactly. When I was younger, I thought about becoming a teacher, but then I realized that marketing was more aligned with my interests. So obviously, when we are kids, we think a lot. We change our aspirations basically daily. You can say one day we want to become a teacher, other day we want to become like an astronaut or maybe engineer or something like that. So or whatever movie we see, we change our aspirations according to that. So it depends on the last movie I saw. All right, when I was a child, so you can say when I was younger I wanted to become ABC, but but as I got older, I came to know about my strengths and weaknesses, and then I decided to do this. So I have, as I told you here, but then I realized that marketing was more aligned with my interests. Looking back, I think I made the right choice because I genuinely enjoy what I do now. So I were trying to tell them, yes. Now, if I look back, at my past, I have made the right choice because I enjoy whatever I'm doing right now. Like, it's not like I am regretting my decision or I am not happy whatever I'm doing. So I am quite content with whatever I'm doing. I'm happy with my decision. So it's everything is all right. So if you think like you wanted to, let's just say here, instead of doing this, if you want to become something else in the future, and you can say, well, if I if I be honest, I want to become ABC thing in the future. That's why I want to pursue studies in ABC thing. So whatever your scenario is, you should always formulate your answers according to that, so that there is nothing to think about. Because if you try to like say something that you actually don't want to become, or that's not true, you have to think a lot sometimes, and sometimes the vocabulary doesn't come readily to you. So you have to dig deep for those particular words that, and they can affect your fluency and your confidence. All right, moving forward. Fifth, what skills have you developed through your work or studies? So whatever skills you have developed through your work or through your studies, you should tell about them. But be careful, do not like make a long list like A B C D E. No, tell one. If you have developed one skill, two or three skills at most. Do not go more than that. One or two, maximum three, so two being the sweet spot. So you can say one or two skills, but not more than three. It should not be like one, two, three, four, five, six, like you are telling them four, five, six skills. So it will negatively impact your vocabulary scores, because teachers may think that you are just trying to give them a list of words. List of words don't mean anything until or unless you are able to explain them. But in part 1 you will not be getting too much time. Just pick one or two skills and talk about them in detail. That will be enough. Let's see the answer now. Through my work, so I'm telling about my work, I have become much better at time management and communication. So I am telling them about the two skills that I learned at my work. First is time management and second is communication. So if you have learned something else like teamwork, you can say, from my through my work, I have become much better at teamwork, or I have learned a lot about teamwork. I have become a better team player. Whatever you have learned from your work or your studies. All right, let's see. My studies have also helped me sharpen my analytic skills. So I have told them, sorry about that. I have told them what I learned from my work, all right, through my work, and now I'm telling them what I have learned through my studies. So my studies help me to sharpen my analytic skills. So I'm able to analyze things in a like logical way. I have become better at it. For instance, now I'm giving some examples so that I can explain to the teacher what I really deeply mean by that. I have learned how to break down complex data into actionable insights, which has been incredibly useful. So, from my analytical skills, now I can break down the complex data that I need for my marketing skill, for my job. So, sorry about that, for my job, and that has been incredibly useful for my career and for my job. So, if there is any other skill that you want to talk about, like team player, I have become a better team player. For instance, after like joining my work, I have come to know how to work in a team, and now I'm able to complete big projects easily. So I have made a lot of friends. Whatever you have done in your work, or if you want about your studies, I have become like, I have sharpened my analytical skills, or whatever you can learn from your studies. What else you can do from your studies? Yeah, I have sharpened my memory, something like that. I have learned about, if you are like from engineering field, about physics or something like that. Now I can easily deduce what's happening, or environment, or whatever you want to say. You can talk about those skills. I hope it is clear. Moving forward, next question. Can you compare your current job slash studies with what you did before? So now what the question is asking us to do? Yes, the question is asking us to compare whatever we are doing right now, whether we are studying or we are doing a job, but doesn't matter. They will give you one according to your profession. Okay, whatever you have said in the first question. So with what you did before, like whatever you doing, whatever you were doing in the past. Let's see the answer. Sure. Obviously, we're telling them, yes, we can. I'm going to give you the answer. Obviously, before this, I worked in retail, which was completely different. So, I'm telling them, before working in this, my current position, what I did earlier, I worked in retail. Obviously, it's completely different from my current profile. While I enjoyed interacting with customers, it wasn't as intellectually stimulating as my current role. So, though it was a enjoyable job because I got to interact with customers, with a lot of people, because I was in retail, so I had to like talk with a lot of people, but it wasn't as intellectually stimulating as my current role because didn't need to use too much analytical skills or other intellectual skills. Now I feel like I'm constantly challenged and learning something new every day. So I'm telling them what I feel now, like what I feel in my job, which I am doing currently. Okay, so if you are doing the same thing as you did in the past, so you can say yeah. So if, let's just say, if you have been doing same job, so like I have been doing same job for like for 10 years. So before that I was a student. So now you can compare your student life with your working life. So let's just say you have just started work. So you have been in work for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whatever the time is. And before that, you were not in like in work, you were a student. So you can say, yeah, before this, like I have been doing this job like for this much amount of time, or since this much, like this particular time period. Before that, I was a student. So when I was studying, I did this, but now I'm an independent person. I have become independent. I don't have to, like, I can take care of myself and my family. So whatever the difference is in the past and now, you can explain that. Okay, moving forward. Would you prefer to work independently or as a part of team? Why? So, what's the teacher asking of us to do in this particular question? They're asking us to pick one of these two. You can talk about both or you can pick one, and you have to explain why. Let's see. That's a tough one. So, obviously, both have their own like advantages and disadvantages. So, picking just one, we are saying that that's a tough one. On one hand, working independently allows me to focus without distraction, but on the other hand, collaborating with the team brings out the best ideas. So, we are telling them it's a difficult choice for me to make, because if I talk about the benefit of working independently, it allows me to focus without distractions because I'm working alone, so there are no distractions. I can like study, or I can do work whenever I want, wherever I want. If I want to take rest, I can take rest. If I want to continue working, I can continue working. So whatever I want to do, I can do because nobody is dependent on me, or I am not or vice versa. I am not dependent on anyone. But on the other hand, if I talk about like working in a team, so collaborating with the team, it brings out the best ideas because there are a lot of minds at work. It can help to bring out the best ideas. So I guess I'd say a mix of both works best for me. It keeps things balanced. So we are saying that it's not an easy choice for me to make. But if you want to pick one, you can pick one. Let's just say if you are comfortable in working, like comfortable working independently, you should say I like to work independently. I like to work alone because it's easier for me to concentrate on my work or on my studies, whatever you are doing. There are no distractions, nobody is disturbing me, so I can do whenever I can complete my work whenever I want to complete, wherever I want to complete, something like that. So you can give example to support this argument. So like I, for instance, I still remember when I was a kid or when I was in school, I did a group project, but it was a nightmare, something like that. So since then I have not like worked in a team. But if you would like to work in a team, you can say yes, I prefer to be a part of a team because it I can delegate responsibilities, or it can help me to bring the best out of me. So like for instance, if we are not good at something, but in your team if other member is good at that particular thing, we can divide our work according to our strength, we can pool our strengths, so to get the best output. So, whatever the answer is, do not worry about what other people are saying for that particular question. Always pick that answer that's easy for you. You can like convey your thoughts easily. Let's look at another question. Is it important for you to continue learning new things in your field? So, if it's important, you can say yes, and you will say why. If it's not, no, and why not. But I don't think so. No answer is that, you can say, sensible for this, because oh, I till now I haven't met any person who don't want to learn anything new to improve himself or herself. Absolutely, obviously it's important for me. The world of marketing is always evolving, especially with technology advancing so quickly. So I'm telling them why it's important for me to continue learning new things. If I didn't keep up, I'd fall behind. Because if I don't keep myself up to date, obviously I will fall behind the pecking order. That's why I try to stay ahead by taking courses and reading industry blogs regularly. So that's why now I'm telling them what I do to keep myself updated. I take courses, like I told earlier that I'm taking evening courses. So I take courses, I enroll in courses, or I read industry blogs regularly. Okay, so if you say, if you want to give some other answer, like yes, because it helps me to increase my knowledge and it helps me to grab new opportunities. That's why I like to continue learning new things. You can say, like for example, now what's up and coming. Yes, AI. So you can say I'm learning all about AI because I believe AI is the future, and whatever you want to convey according to your profession or according to your knowledge, you can convey further. Okay, ninth question. What challenges do you face in your work slash studies? So if you face any challenges, like, or even single challenge in your work or in your studies, whatever you have picked, obviously you should like tell that. So if there is more than one, you can make a list, like tell one then second, or you can tell them both and then explain what those challenges, like how are those challenges, or why, how you tackle with them, something like that. Let's see an answer. One of the biggest challenges is managing my workload. So that's simply I am telling them the challenge that I face in my work. Sometimes deadlines pile up and it feels overwhelming. So what's the challenge? Sometimes there are like lot of I'm doing some projects, so sometimes the deadlines pile up, they clash, and it feels overwhelming. However, I have learned to prioritize tasks and delegate when necessary, which helps ease the pressure. But I have learned to prioritize tasks, meaning to say I have learned to like give numbers to the task, like this is the most important task, I can do it for later. So I prioritize, or I make timetable like this, or I like make list like this. And I delegate tasks. So I delegate, meaning to say I give the task to my colleagues, or I take help from my colleagues or subordinates when necessary. That helps to ease the pressure. Okay, but if there is some other challenge for you, like in your study, you can say, if you are saying that math is a challenge for you, you can say about geometry, algebra, trigonometry. Okay, whatever the thing, if you are dealing problem, if you're facing problem with physics, chemistry, okay, math, whatever the thing is, like, okay, differentiation, integration, matrix. So whatever the challenge that you face in your daily routine, in this, with respect to your work or study, whatever that challenge or challenges, whatever these things are, you can list them one by one like this. Okay, moving forward. Next question, 10th. If you could change one thing about your job slash course, what would it be? So, what the examiner is asking us to do here, they are asking us some a hypothetical question. So, if I could do something, what I would change? So, whatever you want to change in your work or in your studies, you should list them. Do not like worry. If the answer is relevant, do not think what the examiner will think of me. He or she will think that I am basically arrogant. No, whatever you don't like, it's up to you. That thing might be perfect with the examiner or with somebody else, but if it doesn't suit you, so you can say, I don't like this, I want to change it. Let's see the answer. If I could change anything, I'd probably reduce the amount of paperwork involved. So I am telling the examiner here that if I could change anything, so in my like work offline, there's lot of paperwork involved, and if I can change anything, I'll probably reduce the amount of paperwork involved. If there is something else in your work or in your job or in your study that you want to change, you can do that. Just 1 second, guys. Let me drink some water. Okay, thank you for waiting. So if you, so here you have, you may, where is here you see there is so it's basically indicating to the examiner that I am trying to think of something. So it's not necessary that you should like say like this, if I could. So because this question is like, this is a question that's out of the box, like it's out of the blue, basically out of the box question, it came from the blue. So I need some time to think. So I can say, well, it's an interesting question. Let me think for a sec. So if I could change anything, I'd probably reduce the amount of paperwork involved. So be careful about that. Listen how I'm attempting this question, the like my pronunciation features that are like necessary if you want to get band 7 or more. You should not sound robotic. There should be some fluctuation in your voice, to put it in simple words. Okay, so you can say, if I could change anything, I'd probably reduce the amount of paperwork involved. So now I'll say why. It can be tedious and takes away from the creative aspects of the job. So this thing, a lot of paperwork, obviously it's a tedious thing to do, and it takes away creative aspects of the job. You can't be create too much creative, or you can't show your creativity if your like desk is filled with paper. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with where I am right now. But if I talk about overall experience of my workplace, I am pretty satisfied with my career right now. So right now I am satisfied, but in the future, obviously, I have some aspirations that I want to fulfill. Let me tell you one more thing. If you cannot think of anything you dislike about your job or your course or whatever it is, you can simply say no. Well, honestly, I'd not like to change anything at all. I think my job is like perfect for me. It's a it's tailor made for me, it is a perfect fit for me. Whatever word you, whatever vocab you want to use, you can use that, and you can say it helps me to do something. So you will tell one or two benefits of your job. I hope it is clear. Moving on to the 11th question. How does your work slash study schedule affect your daily routine? Now we are going to tell the examiner how it affects our daily routine. It definitely keeps me busy. So what effect it has on my daily routine? It keeps me busy. I usually wake up early to get a head start on the day, and by the time I finish my evening classes, I am exhausted. So I'm telling the examiner, so I have to wake up early or I get up early so that I can get a head start, okay, on the day. And by the time I finish my evening classes, basically by the time the day is finished, I am exhausted, I am tired. However, I make sure to set aside some time for relaxation, but I make sure that I have some time in between for relaxation because I don't want to stress myself out, burn myself out, and like have some like physical or mental problems later in my life. So I make sure get the proper rest that my body and my mind needs. I believe it's crucial to maintain a healthy work life balance. So I have told them because I believe it is very important to maintain healthy work life balance. So work life balance means working life and personal life balance. Okay, so if there is anything that if there is any way, other way that your work or your study affect your daily routine, you can talk about that also. Moving forward, this is our last question in for this particular video. In the future, do you see yourself still in the same line of work or study? So now examiner is asking us about our future plans. Let's see what we are going to tell them. I think so. So if you think you will be continuing in the same line, so they are not asking about the same company, they are asking about the same line of work. Like basically, if you are working as an engineer, like would you be working as an engineer in the future, or would you like to be something else? So I think so. Marketing is such a dynamic field and there are endless opportunities to grow. So I am telling them why I believe I will be doing the same thing even in the future, because it's such a dynamic field and there are endless opportunities to grow. Unless something drastically changes, I can see myself continuing down this path. So I have already also like taken some liberty out of that, like unless something drastically changes, because future is unpredictable. You cannot say for sure that with 100% surety that this thing will happen in the future. Like life has funny ways to get to you, all right? So I'm telling them unless something drastically changes, I don't see any other reason I won't do any this thing. Like, I can see myself continuing down this path. Who knows, maybe I'll even start my own agency someday. So we're telling them like nobody knows obviously. Maybe I'll start my own agency someday. So I have some aspiration, like somewhere in my heart, deep down in my heart there is this is my one of my wishes, all right? But we can I'm not so sure that this will happen, but who knows what the future holds. I hope it is clear. So this is how you can answer your questions. So again, a piece of advice: do not cram these answers. These are just sample answers. These are like one of the answers out of the like endless possibilities that you can give for to one particular answer to one particular question. These answers are just here to help you understand how you should attempt these questions. You can change whatever the profile is, whatever your interests are, and then you can make your own answers. So on the ending note, let me tell you this. So if you want band 7 or more, and if you are struggling to get it and you don't know why, you can enroll in our video course. What you will get in our video course, you will get in-depth information. Okay, let me do this. You will get in-depth information about speaking. You will get in-depth information about speaking, and in speaking all three parts: part 1, part 2, and part 3. Like, and you will also get different types of task 1 and task 2. You will get to know about different types of task 1 and task 2 questions, both academic and GT, whatever course you want to choose. And you will also get band 9 sample answers for all Cambridge books from 1 to 20 if I talk about your writing. So in speaking, we will teach, and in writing both, we will teach you tried and tested structures. So in this video course, we have thoroughly explained our tried and tested structures for all three parts of speaking and writing. So you will get to know how to attempt part 1, what are the best ways to expand your answers, how to attempt part 2, what's the structure you should use in part 2, and for speaking part 3. Similarly, for writing also, for you either academic or GT, we have like given you, or we will teach you structures according to that. Like if we talk about task 1 academic, how to write a line graph, bar graph. So what kind of things to keep in mind while picking figures, what kind of values you should write or you should not write, omit from your writing, how to attempt different type of task 2, like agree, disagree, positive or negative, both views, advantages, disadvantages, problem solutions, two-part essays. Okay, we have discussed all of them separately and thoroughly, so that you can understand how you should attempt every type of task, so that you can get at least band 7 or even more if you are doing all the things correctly. So you will get to know what teachers are looking for and how to give that to teachers. All right. Other than that, you can also buy our writing correction service. So if you want your essays to be marked, to be checked on the 4 parameters that on which teachers check your exams and that are given by official IELTS website, you can contact us, or you can book your slot for one-to-one speaking. Okay, for more info, you can visit our website www.voxel.org, and you will find other details there. Okay, so I will see you in next video. So if you want more such speaking videos, you should comment in the comment box, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.